For centuries, royal women used brooches to communicate messages they couldn't speak aloud. Like silent witnesses to history, these jeweled confidants told stories through carefully chosen symbols and precious stones. A flamingo pin worn defiantly during exile, a mourning brooch clutched by a dethroned empress, a sapphire smuggled from revolution. Each piece preserved emotional truths, official histories overlooked. These 5 royal brooches transcend their impressive carats and craftsmanship. They capture pivotal moments when royal lives intersected with world-changing historical events. Behind each gemstone lies a tale of scandal, heartbreak, and resilience. Intimate stories of women who shaped history, despite the constraints of their positions. The Duchess of Windsor's Cartier Flamingo brooch, a symbol of royal sacrifice. In 1940, as Europe descended into the chaos of World War II, a flamboyant bird adorned with precious gems made its public debut on the lapel of a woman who had changed the course of British monarchy. The Flamingo brooch, commissioned by the Duke of Windsor from Cartier in 1940, represents one of the most controversial love stories in royal history. A king who surrendered his throne for an American divorcee. The brooch's debut occurred during the couple's visit to Madrid in 1940, a politically sensitive moment as Britain fought German aggression, while the exiled couple faced accusations of Nazi sympathies. This timing proved particularly controversial, given Franco's regime maintained diplomatic connections with Axis powers. The technical brilliance of the piece showcases Cartier's masterful craftsmanship. The flamingo rendered in platinum and gold, meticulously adorned with 102 diamonds, weighing approximately 14 carats. The artisans enhanced the design with calibre-cut rubies, emeralds, sapphires, and citrine, each stone individually selected to create the gradient coloration of the bird's plumage. This attention to detail exemplified the naturalistic precision that defined Cartier's zoological designs during this era. Beyond its technical excellence, the flamingo design carries profound symbolism. The bird's posture, balanced delicately on one leg, mirrors the couple's own precarious existence. Like the flamingo standing in shallow waters, neither fully of land nor sea, the Duke and Duchess occupied an uncertain social territory, neither embraced by royalty nor entirely at home among ordinary citizens. This artistic choice perfectly captures their perpetual state of imbalance, much like a tightrope walker navigating a thin wire between two worlds that never fully accepted their union. Edward VIII commissioned the piece during their early years of exile, transforming his devotion into a tangible symbol for the woman who changed his destiny. Jeanne Toussaint, Cartier's pioneering female creative director, personally oversaw the brooch's creation, infusing it with the bold modern aesthetic that revolutionized jewelry design during this period. According to auction records, the brooch's estimated value of $1.5 million reflects both its intricate gemstone composition and its historical significance as evidence of one of history's most consequential royal romances. This valuation encompasses material worth alongside the premium commanded by items associated with monarchical turning points. After the Duchess's death in 1986, Sotheby's historical records show the Flamingo brooch sold for $701,500, significantly exceeding pre-auction estimates. The competitive bidding demonstrated the enduring fascination with their relationship. This intense interest persisted despite Queen Mary's famous dismissal of Wallis Simpson as the lowest of the low, a woman who nevertheless captured a king's heart so completely that he chose love over the British throne. Empress Uene's mourning brooches, imperial grandeur transformed by grief. While the Duchess of Windsor's flamingo symbolized controversial passion, another royal woman across the Channel transformed her relationship with jewelry through profound loss. In 1870, as the Second French Empire collapsed around her, Empress Uene fled to England carrying only modest jeweled mementos, pieces that would silently witness her transformation from imperial splendor to solitary mourning. The Empress, who once adorned herself with the French crown jewels, including the magnificent 140-carat Regent diamond, found herself stripped of power and soon of her most precious human connections. The deaths of her husband Napoleon III in 1873, followed by the devastating loss of their only son, the Imperial Prince, in 1879, created wounds that no diamond could heal. These successive tragedies fundamentally altered Uene's relationship with adornment, as she renounced all frivolous adornment and committed herself to wearing unrelieved black for the remaining 40 years of her life. Uene's surviving mourning locket brooch reflects this profound transformation. This small oval black enamel medallion, engraved with Napoleon III's cipher, adhered strictly to Victorian mourning jewelry traditions. The brooch emphasized intimate connection through personal relics, containing braided strands of her husband's hair preserved behind glass. Like an eternal shadow clinging to her memories, this modest piece transformed from mere decoration into a tangible link to her departed spouse. Following the death of her son in the Anglo-Zulu War, Uene acquired another memorial piece, a brooch containing the imperial prince's photograph or a lock of his hair. Victorian mourning culture elevated such physical remnants into sacred connections to the deceased, with even Queen Victoria and Uene exchanging hair bracelets as tokens of friendship in 1855, underscoring how these intimate keepsakes transcended mere sentimentality among 19th century royalty. The emotional weight these modest brooches carried for Uene was immense. Each black enamel piece became a silent guardian of grief, a physical embodiment of her sore and wounded heart, keeping the memory of her husband and son perpetually close as she lived on alone until 1920. These small tokens preserved emotional connections that transcended both death and the collapse of an empire, becoming her most treasured possessions despite their simplicity. The material value of these mourning pieces, at most a few $1,000s, stands in stark juxtaposition to the multi-million-dollar imperial collection she once possessed. Yet their emotional significance eclipsed any monetary worth. Her former jewels, including her elaborate diamond bow brooch, scattered to new owners after the empire's fall, while these modest mourning pieces remained her constant companions, carrying the weight of her losses and becoming the true crown jewels of her solitary existence, not as symbols of power, but as vessels of enduring love. Marie Antoinette's diamond and pearl brooch, a queen's desperate final gambit. Royal jewels typically signify power and prestige, but in moments of political collapse, they become dangerous liabilities. When Marie Antoinette carefully wrapped her magnificent diamond and pearl pendant brooch in June 1791, she initiated an extraordinary 227-year journey that would ultimately preserve this treasure while she herself faced the guillotine. This single act of desperate foresight would eventually see her brooch sell for a price that dwarfed Empress Eugenie's entire collection of mourning jewelry. The pendant brooch epitomized the zenith of 18th century royal opulence. Its central feature, a remarkable pear-shaped natural pearl measuring approximately 26 millimeters in length, suspended gracefully from an elaborate ribbon-like bow studded with diamonds. As Marie Antoinette's fingers traced each gem, perhaps she sensed each diamond whispered warnings of the revolution gathering force beyond palace walls. The diamonds, arranged in various cuts and totaling around 10 carats, created a mesmerizing interplay of light under the flickering candlelight of Versailles. These precious stones were meticulously set in silver and gold, with an oval diamond crowning the bow that functioned as the clasp for another necklace. The pearl's exceptional size and lustrous quality made it a standout even among the French royal collection's legendary gems. As revolutionary fervor threatened the monarchy, Marie Antoinette recognized that her jewels had become dangerous symbols of aristocratic excess, potential evidence in a revolutionary tribunal rather than cherished possessions. In a calculated gamble, she orchestrated their secret removal from France in 1791. The Queen had her diamond and pearl brooch, along with other precious gems, packed into a wooden chest and smuggled out through a complex network of loyalists. The treasures first reached Brussels, then controlled by her Austrian relatives, before making their final journey to Vienna, where they were safeguarded by her nephew, the Austrian emperor. The brooch's design reveals the shifting aesthetic sensibilities during Marie Antoinette's reign. Its asymmetrical bow arrangement and fluid lines exemplify the transition occurring in decorative arts, as the elaborate Rococo style gave way to more restrained neoclassical influences. The teardrop shape of the pearl, resembling a frozen tear in time, acquired a haunting symbolic resonance, considering the Queen's tragic fate at the guillotine in 1793. While Marie Antoinette perished during the Revolution, her foresight ensured that her brooch survived. It passed first to her daughter, Marie-Thérèse, and then through generations of the Bourbon-Parma family. For over 2 centuries, the piece remained in royal hands, its provenance meticulously documented, creating an unbroken chain of ownership from the doomed queen to modern times. When the diamond and pearl brooch finally appeared at Sotheby's Geneva in 2018, it captivated collectors and historians worldwide. With its impeccable royal provenance and dramatic historical significance, the pendant shattered auction expectations, commanding an astonishing $36 million, a price that testified not just to its material value, but to the emotional weight of a queen's final desperate act of preservation. The Romanov brooches, from imperial splendor to revolutionary survival tools. When royalty becomes a tool for survival, the glitter turns to gold in the face of despair. The astronomical value of Marie Antoinette's brooch pales in comparison to what Romanov jewels were meant to purchase, not status or admiration, but the very lives of Russia's imperial family. As the Bolshevik Revolution engulfed Russia in 1917, the glittering diamond brooches that once adorned the Romanov women at lavish court functions underwent a profound transformation. These masterpieces of jewelry design became desperate tools for survival as the imperial family faced the deadly consequences of revolutionary rage. The Grand Duchesses transformed their decorative ornaments into potential lifelines. They meticulously sewed approximately 1.3 kilograms of diamonds and precious gemstones into their undergarments and clothing. This desperate measure created makeshift protective vests that they hoped would shield them from bullets, while simultaneously preserving portable wealth for their uncertain future. The jewels that once symbolized imperial might became, in those final desperate hours, the family's last hope against the violence that would ultimately claim their lives in a basement in Yekaterinburg. Among the most remarkable Romanov pieces that survived the revolution is the Russian sapphire cluster brooch, currently housed in the British Royal Collection. This extraordinary piece, with its intricate gold filigree surrounding a vibrant sapphire and diamond cluster, once belonged to Marie Feodorovna, mother of the doomed Tsar Nicholas II. Its preservation represents a tangible connection between the fallen Romanov dynasty and the British royal family, strengthened by the fact that Queen Alexandra, wife of British King Edward VII, was Marie Feodorovna's sister. In the midst of this desperate struggle for survival, British diplomat Albert Stopford became an unexpected hero. Risking his own safety, he retrieved 244 precious items from Grand Duchess Maria Pavlovna's palace. Using his diplomatic immunity, Stopford transported these treasures to safety in London, including the famous Vladimir tiara that would later be acquired by Queen Mary of England. His brave intervention preserved irreplaceable pieces that might otherwise have vanished forever in the revolutionary chaos. The sapphire brooch of Grand Duchess Maria Pavlovna followed an especially remarkable path. After being smuggled out of Russia by Stopford, it remained hidden for decades until 2009, when a stunning discovery occurred. 2 old pillowcases filled with Romanov jewels were found in the Swedish Ministry of Foreign Affairs archives. The sapphire brooch and matching earrings, finally returned to Maria Pavlovna's descendants, were eventually auctioned in 2010, allowing collectors to acquire these remarkable time capsules of imperial Russian court life. Romanov jewelry pieces continue to emerge at auction today, demonstrating the enduring fascination with these historical artifacts. a diamond and aquamarine brooch sold for $822,500 in 2019. Its value determined by its gemstones and its connection to one of history's most dramatic royal downfalls. Each surviving piece serves as a poignant reminder of the violent end of the 300-year Romanov dynasty. Princess Sariahs Van Cleef and Arpels brooch, the price of royal infertility. Royal jewels sometimes bear witness to bloodshed and revolution, but Princess Sariahs Van Cleef and Arpels ruby brooch tells a more intimate royal tragedy. Its 24.8 carats of Burmese rubies, once representing the Shah of Iran's passionate love, transformed into painful reminders that even in the 20th century, a royal woman's primary value remained her ability to produce an heir. When Princess Soraya Esfandiari Bakhtiari married Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi in 1951, she stepped into a fairy tale existence as the glamorous queen of Iran. Their passionate connection manifested in the Van Cleef and Arpels brooch, a crimson wound of love that would later symbolize her deepest loss. The piece featured approximately 15 exceptional Burmese rubies, surrounded by 177 diamonds totaling 8.5 carats, all set in platinum. The invisible setting technique created an uninterrupted field of red in a stylized floral design that incorporated subtle Persian motifs while maintaining French elegance. The brooch held profound emotional significance. Palace staff observed Soraya frequently touching it during diplomatic functions, drawing strength from its fiery stones. Its geometric arrangement cleverly referenced Pahlavi dynasty emblems, merging European craftsmanship with Persian heritage, symbolizing the modernizing monarchy's dual identity. However, royal happiness withered under the pressure to produce an heir. After 7 childless years, the Shah faced an impossible choice between love and duty. In 1958, despite their mutual affection, he divorced Soraya, prioritizing dynastic continuation over personal happiness. The brooch that once gleamed with promise became a marker of sacrifice as Soraya departed the palace with little more than her personal jewelry collection. In exile, Soraya settled in Paris, briefly pursuing acting before retreating into solitude. Living on a modest pension, her jewels represented the few remaining connections to her royal past. The ruby brooch transformed from a symbol of status to a tangible reminder of her lost position, the price paid for failing to fulfill her expected royal function. Following Soraya's death in 2001, her estate auction in Paris became a significant event. Collectors competed for pieces of this poignant royal history, with the ruby and diamond brooch among the highlights. The auction realized over $6 million as bidders sought connections to the woman known as the saddest princess. The journey of Princess Soraya's brooch, from royal gift to auction item, mirrors her own trajectory from imperial consort to private citizen. The piece preserves both gemological value and an emotional narrative about expectations placed on royal women. While revolutionary violence claimed many royal jewels throughout history, Soraya's brooch represents a different devastation, the quiet tragedy of a woman whose worth was measured by her reproductive capacity rather than her character or contributions. Conclusion. Today, these royal brooches exist in various settings, continuing their storied journeys. From the Duchess of Windsor's Flamingo brooch to Marie Antoinette's diamond pendant, these treasures move between private collections and museums after notable auctions. Empress Eugenie's bow brooch resides in the Louvre, while Romanov pieces occasionally resurface at auctions. As jewelry historian Vivian Becker notes, these royal jewels function as silent witnesses to history. They embody deeply human stories connecting us across centuries. Symbolizing devotion, downfall, and tragedy, these brooches preserve emotional narratives conventional history often neglects, tangible connections to universal experiences of love, loss, and resilience that continue to captivate us today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. And let us know in the comments below which brooch was your favorite among these 5.